what's up? LegendBTV here, back at it again. Hi, guys. Now, today we got something I've been really excited to talk about. One of the rare times I'm doing a movie review. Oh my god, yeah. But you know, we definitely had to hop on, give an opinion about this movie. It is the certified modern classic, He's All That. Yeah, the new 2021 movie that will certainly be remembered in 3 decades prior. Yeah, starring Addison Rae, Elvis Presley, and the girl from that show Life with Boys. Yeah, I know that show. Other than that, a bunch of other people, yeah. So the movie itself is crazy. First, let's take a look to admire my muscles before we start. Yeah. Now, time for the review. So this movie stars Addison Rae as an influencer. You know, the first scene we see her taking off her fake teeth, and we see her getting her googly eyes on and getting right out of bed ready for a nice hopping good day. So she's talking to her followers and all that, and she's just like getting ready for school or whatever. Oh, I was supposed to explain before that this is a spoiler review. You guys know that. So, spoilers. Starting 5 seconds ago. Yeah. So, anyway. Cut that out? Okay. So she goes to school, and then, you know, some sort of accident happens. It gets caught on camera where she has like a snot bubble in her nose, and it's like a really embarrassing image, and that goes viral. She loses her sponsorship deal and is worried about like college and all that. Like, apparently she's set as a senior in high school, so she's, you know, played as a character 2 years younger than she actually is. And she's all worried about how she's gonna get her followers back. She just starts losing a bunch of followers, losing credibility. And it's a lot when you're privileged like that to just kind of fall from grace, as you will. And in addition to that, while brainstorming a plethora of ideas on how to get her fame back, apparently she thinks winning prom queen will be the best way to do that. And then also, like, turning this guy into the prom king, like doing a makeover and everything, and kind of doing that will put her life right back on track, apparently, doing all that successfully. I don't know what the point of doing that is. So, like, apparently it has to be, you know, getting this guy prom king. It couldn't have been donating to the children's hospital, going back in time to stop Silver from doing that ball puzzle in Sonic 06, gamer reference y'all might not get, and or removing plastic soda rings from koalas, but, like, yeah, it has to be this. So yeah, they go on this mission, they meet this guy who is a real outcast. He even uses some language describing music like he's Anthony Fantano or something. Really pretentious sounding, really sounding like because he is who he is, just kind of introverted stereotypically, that he kind of just feels like he's kind of a bit above it all, if you will. And that's kind of his main character, really cliche stereotype, if you will, to the T. And then, of course, you have, you know, her friend she made the bet with. That friend ends up turning on her later in the movie, which we'll get into that when we get into it. But she kind of just is there to kind of be the antagonist later on, or part of the antagonist. He gets in a fight and stuff. And I know the movie's kind of all over the place, but yeah, so was my description, too. But yeah, they bet over this guy, and they hide it from him, because obviously he'd be pretty upset if he were to find out, which clearly they weren't going to, you know, reveal that. You know, they weren't going to just tell him, right? Right? So anyway, they make over this guy, and he turns into this huge stud. Like, everyone's like, oh my god, you know? They're like, wow, you look good and stuff. They get him, like, you know, styled up like, what's his name? Oh god, a Great Gatsby or Bill Cosby or something. And, and... Bill Cosby. In addition to that, so then he gets in a fight, and then, like, you know, he gets kind of mad about them kind of, you know, kind of changing him into someone he doesn't want to be and all that. He gets a little mad about that. He invites Padgett over, that's her name, Addison's name in the movie, and they kind of, like, talk for a minute, and they kind of, like, have a moment, and it looks like he's about to ask her to prom, but apparently she kind of, like, backs out. She kind of feels awkward about it. She's unsure of how she feels and all that. She kind of, like, bursts out in a really awkward way. I'll get into that when I get into my, like, analysis. But, yeah, it's very awkward, very cringy, how she just kind of leaves. It's very obvious something's wrong. And he's very, like, ignorant if he doesn't realize that. Like, he should be like, oh, shit, I did something totally wrong. If you knew if you know 1% about girls, which is 2% more than I know. So, because her friend kind of turns on her, it gets revealed that this was all just some plan by her friend, and then, you know, she reveals to him that they're kind of, Padgett and his romance is kind of just, like, all part of a bet, and he has this, like, funny, like, he's like...
No, I was a fucking bet. You can all go to hell.
I don't know why. It was just so funny how serious he was taking it. I know, like, you know, it'd be serious to anybody who was just part of a bet. They think, like, a really hot girl was kind of into them, and I know, obviously, he was a bit more about her than just her looks, but, like, you know, really, come on. But, yeah, and then, you know, she feels bad about it, and then she's like, oh, yeah, you know, you gotta be true to yourself and all that, and, you know, she just wished she didn't have to lose him to learn this information, you know, kind of Selena Gomez-esque. And so what I think of the movie, it's kind of like, okay, it's weird. So one thing I'll say is, like, it seems very, like, typical. It does seem very cliche. It seems like it checks off, it's like a checklist movie. It checks off a lot of things that, like, standard teenage rom-coms. I don't think it's much of a romance comedy. It's more just like a teen comedy. I don't know if it's like really a comedy, because I will say it's not a very funny movie. There are things I did laugh at, but I think it was more like I was laughing at how awkward or how much I wouldn't show this to a friend that I was watching it, right? Like, it was very corny, I gotta say, a lot of it. The part with her, like, cutting his hair, some of the freak-out sequences, some of just the lingo they use just to talk to each other just doesn't feel human, to be honest. And I know it's a movie, I know it's really calculated, but that's how it felt to me. It felt very processed, like a computer generated a lot of just the way these people talked in the movie. I know that's a very broad way to describe it, but yeah. I think Padgett as a main character, I thought Addison Rae wasn't a bad actor. I thought there were some parts that it was obvious maybe she should have, like, you know, put a little more into it, or maybe a little less into it, but yeah, she could have played the character better, I think. But I think she was perfectly serviceable. Like, I think she wasn't, like, cringily bad where you're like, you know, it was at least better than that, whatever that, like, hospital show Dixie was on. I think we can all agree that. But the guy, I thought was not bad. Like, the guy actor in that was really good, I think. And I think the story, a little bit of a mess. Like I said, kind of a jumbled mess. There were things they could have probably elaborated on more. Like, I would have loved to see a bit more of the kind of transformation scene. There isn't much of a transformation between him in his kind of, like, shell phase, Koopa style, to now being this, like, hot, handsome hunk, you know? Like, they kind of try on a few outfits, and they give him, like, a hat or whatever, and, you know, and they give him a haircut, like, which lasts about 10 seconds, and now all of a sudden, yeah, it's a very quick montage. It's a little bit Breakfast Club-esque, I guess, like, where they kind of dance and they tap their feet, and, of course, he's not really into the dancing. He's more reserved, more shy. It's like, you know, typical down to the letter, like, oh my god. On the positive side, though, there were good things about the movie, like I said, some things, although probably pretty awkward, they were kind of because I like cringe comedy, so there were things that were pretty funny. Like, I'm sure you've seen the TikTok where Addison's hand while performing Katy Perry's Teenage Dream gets cut off. And no one thought to, like, fix that. They just were like, oh, bleep it. That was a thing. The fight scene between, like, the guy, I forget his name. I can't believe I forget who the guy they make over's name is. But yeah, this guy fights him, and he's like... You have to see it to know what I'm talking about, but it's such a corny fight. Like, I know that the guy who's the antagonist, who should be, like, this tough, macho guy, is just such a terrible fighter, and it checks off all the cliches, but it was just kind of funny to see. It was enjoyable. It was kind of like comfort comedy. It wasn't anything amazing, but it was funny. I liked the principal somewhat. His humor was really generic. Very typical, oh yeah, principal doesn't know anything about kids nowadays, doesn't know anything about how to use, like, modern slang correctly, totally out of his element. Like, it's so cliche. But I don't know, occasionally he could pull it off right. Like, occasionally there was a couple of gags with him that were kind of funny. Him being snarky to some of the students, like, you know, him acting like, you know, this was totally pointless, why is he up here doing this, like, was actually kind of good. I don't know if you've seen that, but, like, it was pretty funny. Him being all, like, kind of, you know, making these one-liners and these jabs at the students. He even jabbed the popular, like, jerk guy. Like, it was kind of funny and warranted, yeah. So, yeah, humor was kind of light, but, you know, what was there? There were definitely times I laughed and got pretty good laughs, yeah. It's not a movie I would say is very comedy-packed, but it was, you know, okay in the comedy side of things. Romance side of things, yeah, it was pretty shallow. You know, obviously the fact that they were doing it for a bet, there's not much romance in here. They get, like, some kissing at the end, but that's just kind of it. Like, there's not much of a romance that really builds up. They kind of have some tension, but then it's like it all gets squandered once the bet is, like, revealed. So, you know, I wouldn't really go to the movie as a romance either, but, like, the story itself, it's, like, alright. I don't think much of it, but I don't, like, hate it either. There wasn't really anything groundbreaking here. It just feels like kind of an average movie. But at the same time, you know, Addison was in it, and it was cool. Just, I mean, Addison was just kind of, like, my eye candy throughout the whole thing. I was like, oh my god, yeah. She's just, like, really, you know, amazing. Yeah, I know. No, maybe not as an actress, but, like, eye candy is eye candy, guys. So, yeah. But in general, there are some, like, fun characters. There's some fun to be had in the movie. And if you can kind of turn off your brain, I think it's, like, decent enough to watch. I don't think I'd come back to this very often. Like, I think it's, like, just kind of, like, decent, not great. But, like, it was alright to watch. And we'll have to see how Addison Rae's acting career goes from there. I know I'll have to rewatch it some more, probably, to really get a full-fledged opinion, but, like, from what I saw, I mean, I don't know, it was kind of too safe to really be outright terribly cringy either. I kind of wanted a bit more cringe, to be honest. If it was going to go the cringy route, I wanted it to go, like, full out, put Bryce Hall in the damn movie. I heard he was in there somewhere, I don't know, but, like, yeah, put Bryce Hall in the movie, you would have had a total, like, 9 out of 10 oh my god, yeah, but I like some of the songs Addison Rae used at the beginning, though. I think that might have been her singing. That might have been some of her songs from that EP she was talking about dropping, so I hope that comes out soon. Anyways, I've rambled on long enough, yeah, but that was, He's All That. Yeah, let me know if you guys see the movie. Let me know if you liked it, hated it, would give it to the Pirates, whatever, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that was my review for He's All That, and thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. Check out my music, link in my bio, and Lincoln. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Love you.